Yay. Hi, YouTube. Thank you so much for coming to my next live stream. I'm really, really happy to be here, and I hope everyone had a fantastic, fantastic first day back at work or just first day after the Christmas holidays, and that the weather isn't too bad out where you are. Just before this, I was messing around a bit with the camera, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just left it alone. So hopefully it's in a reasonable spot, and hopefully this setup looks okay, like it did yesterday. I learned yesterday that I actually had my audio connected to the microphone on my new webcam. So sorry if my audio wasn't very good, but hopefully today it is better. So we have a few people in here already. Hey, anti-MLM people. Hi, Mark. Thank you for joining. I'm really happy you're here. Hi, Heather. Hi, everyone. Hi, Rich. And then Liv Panic says, hi, Heather, Mark, and Rich. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Today, my face is freezing a lot, and so I might put my face small on the screen so it's not super distracting when we're watching the video. Gary says, hello. Hey, Gary. Thank you for joining. Mark says, your picture is far better. Okay, good. Good. I should have just left my camera where it was instead of trying to move it around and be all fancy. So today, again, like yesterday, we're going to do a very recent national wake-up call, which is a network-wide virtual call for Beachbody or body coaches. And usually they'll have really high up coaches, they'll have elite coaches. They may have a coach that found really quick success in Beachbody who got up in rank quite quickly. And they'll just talk about success and how they make all their money and tips and tricks for new coaches. This one just happened yesterday, and it's from Carl Deichler, the Beachbody CEO, telling us about health esteem. We know health esteem is the new concept that Beachbody is based on, and we're going to learn more about it in just a minute. I hope you guys like this. Just like yesterday, I am not including the announcement portion because this is a really long video and I talk a lot. So I linked it down below. So if you want to hear the announcements, you can click on the link and you can watch the first 12 minutes of this call. What type of dressing is on this salad? That's funny. Hi, Hall. I'm happy you're here. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not really a dressing person. I prefer like dry salads, but Mark says hopefully it's Caesar. That's funny. So I'm ready to get started. I'm going to make my face small so we're not distracted by my freezing constantly. Oh, look at that. It's already small. So I was just practicing this and it was loading fine. So hopefully it goes well again. I'm going to try to leave it for several minutes at a time so we're not here all night. So I'm really excited for this.
Body CEO, Carl Deichler.
Thank you, Keyshawn. Always love the way you do this. And I want everybody to just...
Holy crap, that's loud. I will lower this a little bit. Hall says, what? Dry salad? The horror, the horror. I don't know. I don't like my salads all like juicy and soggy. I like sometimes like putting lemon on it, but other than that, I prefer dry salads.
Just take note for a second. Like every word that comes out of her mouth has so much heart and spirit, and you just can tell when somebody wants us to win. And Keyshawn, I love what you do. So Happy New Year to you. And I'll take it from here and throw it back to you at the end. But Happy New Year. Coaches, I want you to just take a beat for a second. Fill your heart up. Understand what we're doing is really important. The fact that you showed up to watch the National Wake Up Call is a really big deal. I think we're entering the most exciting phase of expansion and potential to achieve our mission than really in any time in our 24-year history. And let's think about that for a second.
It's always the most exciting time for expansion with MLM companies. It's always the greatest time to join. You always have to get in right now so you can get a ground floor opportunity, or else you're going to miss out on the amazing opportunity forever. Note that he also said that just the act of you showing up for this national wake up call is important. They like to say this a lot, that you're showing up for this meeting at 10 p.m. when you should be in bed, and that means that you really care about your business and that you're willing to make sacrifices. However, what if someone doesn't want to show up on January 2nd was a holiday for me. This was just yesterday. I wouldn't want to show up to, I would not want to be showing up to a free meeting on my holiday. If I'm going to go to a meeting, I want to be paid overtime for it. What do you think about that? So Gary said, I like a dry salad myself. Oh, you like a juicy salad, not a dry salad. Oops. What kind of dressing do you like, Gary? Catherine M says, so excited to catch the live. Oh, that's awesome, Catherine. Thank you for joining. We're just watching Carl in a Beachbody National Wake Up Call that just happened yesterday.
What it means for you. And while I describe all this, I want you to know, okay, while I describe this, I'm gonna say one thing that I think can be the biggest opportunity, not only in network marketing, but in nutrition. Okay, but I'll talk about that toward the end. But first, let's look at some of the most exciting changes coming up. Of course, our mission, and I really want you to listen to this, our mission is to help people achieve their goals and lead healthy, fulfilling lives. That has literally been the mission statement that guided our product development and our marketing since 1999. Literally. It is what led to the creation of the network, because we realized that it could be a powerful motivator for people that, in conjunction with making a decision to start an in-home program all alone, they can have the additional incentive and objective to do it along with other people and monetize that decision for themselves. And that's when a multi-billion-dollar success story was born. But
so he was saying a lot here already. First, he said that the network was made, their products were developed with the mission in mind, that they want to help people achieve their goals and live a healthy and fulfilling life. We know that's bullshit, Carl. You know it too, because your mission is to sell products or recruit people to be a member of your company. If your mission was truly to just help people be healthier, I feel like you would have started a nonprofit and maybe developed free or very low cost fitness, health, nutrition classes for low income families. You would not be sitting here in an MLM making millions of dollars while you know that the majority of people not underneath you, in your company, in your pyramid, aren't making any money. Second, I made a video on this. I think I called it the Beachbody origin story. They like to say that they wanted to start the MLM business structure because they wanted to monetize people's decisions to start the programs, like what he just said. And we know that any CEO of a company doesn't decide to go over to this structure just because they're altruistic and want to help people. They do this because perhaps their sales are down and they need a guaranteed customer for their product. And with these approximately 300,000 to 400,000 coaches, he has that many guaranteed customers every single month. What do you think about that? So I missed a few comments. Let's look at them now. If it's a work thing, I want to get paid, especially if it's a holiday. Exactly. I completely agree. Buddy, I don't want to join your cult. Same, Mark, same. That's a $300 shirt. Do you know that for sure? It doesn't look like it would be $300, but if it's a fancy designer brand, maybe.
the course of these 24 years, and I think 12 or 13 since we launched the network, it's never totally achieved the massive breakthrough that I want to help hundreds of millions of people. That's the way I've envisioned this. So I've studied the industry, particularly very closely for the last 12 months. I've worked with some consultants, marketing consultants, statisticians, guys who are doing data and analytics work, and they had a particularly great insight into the post-pandemic environment. Trends in social media, fitness trends, diet trends, even trends in food, especially snacks and desserts. And we discovered something that, as they say, it's hiding in plain sight. the dominant message of the industry was not appealing to the people who really resonate with what we offer. In fact, the legacy industry overall was running this playbook to point out people's imperfections and show people how they can fix those imperfections. Now, that might seem obvious, and it's sort of like a smart marketing strategy. You point out a problem, offer a solution. But what we realized with the industry perpetuating this messaging over and over and over again, we were actually contributing to creating a self-esteem problem for a lot of people. Not everybody, but for many people, which ultimately was getting in the way of our mission statement of helping people live healthy, fulfilling lives, which is
I was proud of myself for letting it play for a whole minute and a half. So I do appreciate the fact that he says very broadly, but at least he said it, that Beachbody was contributing to people experiencing a self-esteem challenge, and the fitness and health industry is not geared in a way that appeals to the vast majority of people who want to live healthier. So I appreciate his very broad admission that his company is the part of the problem at least, but I think the issue is a lot deeper than that. We need to think about how Beachbody has contributed to this significant issue for a lot of people. Such a focus on constant before and after photos, being required to sit there and take all your measurements, and being required to showcase some kind of transformation, even in just a 4-week program. And you'll see a lot of the top coaches will have before and afters for every single program. And if these photos are realistic and truthful, they seem to be yo-yoing back and forth. They'll have a tiny bit of a belly, still look great, but slight belly. And then 4 weeks later, it looks like they're toned up and more muscular. Then in the next program, they have a very slight belly, and then they have big arm muscles, and it seems like it's going back and forth. Another issue, though, that we know is that a lot of these before and after photos are not truthful, and people may take the before photo when they just had a baby, when they were pregnant. Their after photo could have been from 5 years ago when they were a college athlete. We know there's just a lot of dishonesty with these pictures in the MLM context. I wonder if you've been in Beachbody, leave a message down below or in the comments. Did Beachbody, Carl, Autumn impact your self-esteem and your mental health in a positive or a negative way? Because I do want to acknowledge that I'm sure people are positively impacted by Beachbody, but I feel like the negative impacts are a lot more deeply rooted and a lot more dangerous potentially. What do you think? 1 second, I'm about to cough. I lost my mouse. Where did you go? Lift Panic says desserts only when made with Shakeology, right? Why can't I just have a cookie, man? They doctor the pictures. They totally do. Completely. I'm blabbing a lot. It's already been 13 minutes and we've been through like 4 minutes.
The bigger opportunity, that's to help people who want to be healthy and feel good, not just look a certain way. And that way of business has a name. That way of business of just selling into that idea that you're not perfect, get to work on yourself, blah, blah, blah. That's called the imperfection economy. And that preys on promoting an ideal. Now, again, I think that the intent behind that was to motivate people, tough love, get them going. But instead it was turning a lot of people off. And that was the aha moment last year when we realized that to achieve our mission, we needed to make and take a big step, get out of the imperfection economy, stop being part of the criticism. People have enough criticism in their minds, and add a dimension to this industry, which would dismantle the concept of the ideal. Since honestly, the ideal is completely different for everybody. And we needed to encourage people to actually understand that as human beings, they are meaningful and worthy, and they matter just as they are. And we can all still aspire to feel better. We can even want to lose weight or get ripped. Those goals can be personal to anyone. I know I personally enjoy seeing what I can do to change my body and even pursue some goals with a program. See it through, right? See what I can do. But the difference is we're not pinning success or our sense of self-value or self-worth to that outcome, which means we're also not pinning that to other people, that after photo. That's just a project. But taking care to respect ourselves and appreciate and take care of who we really are, that's our life, not a project.
So there's a lot of word salad in there, and I don't know if it has like Caesar dressing or lemon juice, but Carl really enjoys his word salad. So I do think that there's a positive in the fact that he's telling us we need to love ourselves and value ourselves where we are and understand that everyone has different goals. And I think the very nature of Beachbody is directly contradictory to the message of health, esteem, and just appreciating our bodies where they are. I think you could argue that the fitness side of Beachbody could be more connected to that because you would still have to change the language and the structure of these programs and not make it seem like you're only all in, you only care about your health and your fitness if you do the programs to a T and you do them exactly as they are written. But I think where there's a big contradiction is how restrictive and how many rules there are in the nutrition programs. There's not a way to just I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm not making sense. But I think I saw Catherine says, I think it masks as being positive and quickly becomes obsessive. That's my experience. So I completely agree. When you are so focused on everything you put in your body, there's so many rules and restrictions. I think that's completely contradictory to the message of health esteem that these people are trying to push. Why can't we just say, eat a balanced diet, eat in moderation, have a cookie if you want to, but know your limits, know when you may or may not start to feel sick, or you may know when you feel like you should need to stop, and just stop when you know your limit. Just eat with balance, eat with moderation. Does that make sense? Why can't he just tell us that? Anyway. I've never heard of Beachbody till I started watching anti-MLM content. Yes, I first watched Respectfully Sarcastic, and I was fascinated by it, and then I found Deanna Mims. And I should have made a quick trigger warning, and I should have done that before I talked about eating desserts and stuff. We're going to be talking about body image, and we're going to be talking about dieting. So I'm sorry for not making that trigger warning before. So if that upsets you, then, or if it might be triggering, then this might not be the video to watch. Sorry about that. Heather has a PhD in MLMs. Thank you, Mark. Liv Panic says, I've heard of it, but didn't know it was an MLM. Yeah, right at the beginning of COVID, I came across Beachbody and was considering like doing the workouts because I wanted to do at-home workouts, and I had no idea it was an MLM. So I was really excited that once I learned about it, I was excited that I didn't actually put money towards the business structure. My daughter was pitched heavily. Oh, I'm sorry, Liv Panic. Mark says there are about 700 MLMs. Fitness is inexpensive. Yes, you're totally right, Mark. YouTube is free, right? We know what you're saying. Oh, thank you, Mark. I had the idea, I had the thought in my head, and it just was not coming out properly. The main message is their version of health esteem is directly contradictory to the nature of Beachbody as a company and specifically the nutrition programs that they offer.
Our life, and that is health esteem. That is what we are celebrating all month. World Health Esteem Month, which instead of the ritual of these drastic New Year's resolutions people make to bully themselves to make changes, there's enough bullying going on. We're helping people make even the smallest of changes. But, and hear this, being careful to keep an eye on what I call the snake in the room. The habit to let that ego say, you're not good enough if you're not perfect. If you're not keeping up with whoever else you might see on social media or wherever, or magazines, or just ideals that we've allowed to reinforce in our minds. That's not the ideal. The ideal.
I don't appreciate him saying that us thinking that we're not good enough if we're not perfect is an ego issue. That's potentially like a self-criticism issue. It could be a mental health issue. It could be a self-esteem issue. Potentially, it could be something that you need to address with a mental health professional. I really don't like when people like Carl and others in health and fitness MLMs they phrase the they phrase the beach body opportunity or the products as a way to fix everything. So if you want to fix your self-doubt, your lack of self-confidence, all you have to do is come into Beachbody, do our programs, eat the way we tell you to eat, and have a health esteem routine that is exactly what we prescribe to you. I say prescribe because if you watch DC, she has a fantastic channel. Go subscribe. They did a Snark Crew stream where Carl said that they provide a prescriptive approach to health and fitness. You can't have a prescriptive approach and then say it's all about what you need as an individual, it's all about what you desire, but you have to follow our specific approach. It's contradictory, sir.
Is you. The ideal is the person you can help and what their goal is. You shape your ideal toward the life that gives you the most happiness. They shape their ideal to the life that gives them the most happiness. That's the premise of Sure Thing, where instead of focusing on the physical change that you can achieve in 8 weeks, right? That's been our model for almost 25 years. Megan is focusing on the incredible feeling of type training right in the moment, how good it feels, how good does making that time for yourself feel that day? It feels incredible, right? But we never really celebrate that as a win. I've been told that celebrating that is like handing out a participation trophy, right? I'll get criticized that, oh, it's here you are, you're all woke and virtue signaling. That's what we're talking about. But we are talking about participation is worth celebrating. You're damn right, because over 100 million people aren't participating. So if we can help them participate for one day and we celebrate that, and then we celebrate another day, celebrate that. And of course, you put 8 weeks of those kinds of days together with Sure Thing, and you can't help but see changes and some outrageous outcome. But that's not the mentality, which means after those 8 weeks, you don't quit. You're not done. That's the miracle of health esteem. Because
I kind of agree with what he's saying in a sense that it's worth celebrating just showing up and getting your workout in, not just the fantastic and dramatic physical results. Say you have been struggling with your mental health lately and you're able to get up and take a walk outside, that is worth celebrating. However, in the Beachbody context, they're not just telling you to get up and move your body in a way that feels good for you. They're telling you that you need to do their workouts in the way that they show you, and you need to do their programs in the way that they write them, or else we don't care about our health and our fitness. It's all about staying in his company for as long as possible. And he's literally just reframing the existing programs and services that Beachbody offers, changing up the narrative and the ideology behind how they're describing it. And he's trying to package it as a new product. Sure Thing is just like all the other programs, not just like, obviously there's different workouts, but it's a workout program. It's not revolutionary. It's structured in the same way as all the other programs, but he's packaging it as a program that aligns with his self-esteem, health esteem ideology when it's not. It's exactly the same as everything else. Okay. Heather, please do one on Tony Robbins. Maybe. That's a good idea. If I was a coach watching this on a Monday morning, I'd need 5 cups of coffee, right? And they're early. I think it's like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning. No, thank you. He earns a lot of money. Oh, for sure. He totally does. Do they still sell videos in stores anymore? I remember those. Do you mean like video stores like Blockbuster? I think there's one Blockbuster left in the whole world, but I don't know if video games or video stores are still a common thing. We used to love going to rent videos as a kid. Mark says Heather started legal MLM. No, thank you.
Each day, it feels good to feel good in your body. That's what you're acknowledging. That feeling. It feels good to be strong. It feels good to fit into clothes you enjoy. But at the same time, health esteem is about making sure that you never lose sight of your value as
Paul says no, like in Target. Oh, I don't know. We don't have Target here. Does anyone know? I'm not sure.
a person, regardless of those physical outcomes. And that has another major benefit. Life can happen, like it always does, without you beating yourself up. We just got done with the holidays. How many tens of millions of people are beating themselves up, as they do annually? Oh, you did it again. No discipline. And now they're swearing off carbs, or they're looking at crazy diets, or they're deciding to overtrain to try to reverse whatever the result of the holidays has been for them. Get ready to fix this as soon as possible so they can stop hating themselves for it. And that's what we need to stop, the self-hatred. I don't want to put people in a position where they put themselves in this state of mental attack on themselves, which the legacy industry, which we contributed to, was fueling, because it sells gym memberships or subscriptions or diet food.
So just a few weeks ago on Autumn Calabrese's Instagram, she was yelling at us about if we decide to eat what we want over the holidays, that we're neglecting our bodies and that we are not wanting to be healthy and fit. I really don't appreciate the fact that he's telling us that if we are feeling badly for how we ate during the holidays, then we hate ourselves. And he's framing it in a way that Beachbody is the answer to us hating ourselves. I feel like a lot of people in Beachbody are probably experiencing something like this because of Carl, because of Autumn, when you're given food lists that are incredibly restrictive and small, and you have to eliminate entire food groups. Like for the 4-week gut protocol, you couldn't have like macadamia nuts. Like, why can't we have nuts? When you have that many rules and restrictions on your eating, having one piece of chocolate is going to feel like a travesty because you broke the rules. I think Catherine M said it farther up in the chat, but when there are that many rules placed on my eating, if that were to be my experience, I would become extremely obsessive. I'd become extremely overcritical on myself. And I just know I couldn't handle that because of my obsessive tendencies. He's creating this idea that we are not allowed to eat nice food over the holidays. It's his fault. It's his company's fault. It's his super trainer's fault. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hall says, Target totally failed in Canada. They did too much at one time. They had problems with the distribution centers. I worked for them. It was a mess. That's too bad because I've heard that Target is fantastic. Maybe one day they'll be back. Or not be back. They'll have a store in Canada. Come on.
But in 3 weeks, those same people making those New Year's resolutions realize they don't really like living under these extremes, and we would lose them. People actually enjoy sharing time with friends over food or drinks, taking some time off. So a dramatic approach to a healthier lifestyle would become the enemy, and then they would quit. But World Health Esteem Month is designed to be the opposite. Do you see how powerful health esteem can be? Instead of weaponizing motivation against ourselves, we integrate a mindset of positive self-esteem, that the actual experience of being more active and eating in a way that feels good and still facilitates living a life we love. Now, I'm sure there are going to be some people who don't get this. They'll say, again, why are they changing the name from Beachbody to Body? As if that changes anything. Or others will say, here we go, another woke company. Look, people are going to have their bias, their triggers, and honestly, I just tune them out. What I know is I started a company, and what fills my heart as the CEO of this company is to be on a mission to help people achieve their goals. That's the gut check I do every day. Bottom line to all this is, can we help more people feel good about themselves and have a better life because they're healthy? How can we help them achieve their goals and lead healthy, fulfilling lives? This is the heroic work you're doing. I mean, you have an insight that shows you.
Ew, this is the heroic work we're doing. No, thank you, Carl. I've said this before in videos that people in MLMs, CEOs like Carl, have to have a really big vision of themselves and have to have a really inflated sense of self-worth to think that their MLM company, their distributors are doing heroic work. Before I get into this, hi DC, thank you for joining. Hi to everyone except Carl. Yes, don't say hi to Carl. Everyone go subscribe to DC right away. She's fantastic. I think we saw Carl during the pandemic tell us that the work that coaches do is akin to the work that nurses were doing and doctors and police officers were doing during the pandemic, that Beachbody coaches were necessary, were required during the pandemic. I just hate the idea of comparing Beachbody coaches to actual people in employment doing truly heroic work and actually saving people's lives. I think that's insulting and a slap in the face to people who risk their lives during the pandemic and who risk their lives every single day in their health and their well-being and don't get to see their families to actually help people be more healthy, like doctors, to actually save people's lives. Okay, I missed some comments up here. What did I miss? RK said, I love Target. And yes, they do sell video DVDs. Oh, cool. Awesome. Correction, it's the horrific work Body is doing, not heroic, right? And how much of an ego does he have to think that he's being heroic? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I wonder if he actually thinks this or if he's just painting a specific image of Beachbody to bring in more people, to bring in people who want to help, who have like characteristics of wanting to nurture and help those who are more vulnerable than them, those who might go into teaching or counseling or being an early education teacher, right? Maybe he's trying to appeal to those people. Carl makes me mad. Oh, 100% Heather. Thank you, DC. I'm in a really rambly mood tonight. This might be a long video.
That there's almost 150 million people, 150 million adults who are rejecting healthier choices because of the way those choices are being presented. That's the imperfection economy. Well, as a business, you respond to that and you create a category which will actually serve all those people rather than pretend that they just need to get with the program, get on board. You should know better. Wagging a finger isn't going to do it. This is health esteem, where we start with grace.
That's what Autumn does every single day, all the time. Anytime she tells us to throw away our candy, anytime she makes a face at food that isn't considered healthy, right? Even just a little freaking McDonald's breakfast sandwich that has some eggs and an egg and a piece of ham on it, that she's wagging her finger at us. That's what your super trainers and your coaches wag their fingers at us every single day, sir. Catherine says he thinks he's doing something by telling everyone to have Shakeology as dessert. Yeah, and he's going to talk more about that later. We'll see.
Keyshawn said, more flexible, loving people as they are, and helping them feel better about themselves. Acknowledging the individual, and getting out of comparisons and getting out of competition. That includes the crazy flexibility of the new Body Block format, where you can work out about a half hour a day for 3 weeks a month, and then take a week off before you start the next block in the next month. It's been a total breakthrough for me. I've never been this consistent for this long, building like flexibility into my life rather than being all or nothing. And that format will be a game changer for people, especially when Lacey Green, our new super trainer, when she comes out with for beginners only. That's a free super block that we're coming out with in March. That's going to help as many of those 150 million people get started as you help us reach. Guys, we can start recruiting people to that major breakthrough in a month. Do you see how significant this year can be? The business model is going to get so much simpler with Body Blocks.
So he's telling us how flexible you can be with the Body Block, and you work 30 minutes a day for 5 or 6 days a week. Then you can have a week off. You know what else is flexible, sir? My process for finding what I want to work out to on YouTube. I will search for YouTube workout videos. I make a playlist and I literally go through and just pick the one that I feel like doing based on my mood for that day, based on how much time I have, based on whether or not I slept well, based on whatever. That's flexibility. That's true flexibility. You are still following, like what you said, Carl, a prescriptive approach to health or to fitness. Sorry. You have to do a certain workout on a certain day, or else you are not following the program the way it was meant to be followed and the way it was written. I know the Snark crew on DC's channel, I say DC because like that's where I watch those streams. They've talked about how strange it seems that the new super trainer Lacey, who is considered to be more in not plus sized trainer, she is not what you would consider to be more slender. Her program is only for beginners. And I don't like the thought that a woman who is potentially in a body that doesn't look like Autumn's body, she's only considered to be an expert in beginner programs. And why can't Lacey have a really advanced program where she's jumping and doing jumping jacks and push-ups? Why does she have to only do the easy beginner program? So Hall says, love yourself as you are. Now let's get you on a program to change yourself. Right? Love yourself as you are. That's contradictory to you must follow this program and do what we say on the day that we say it. Should be love yourself as you are. Go out for a walk your dog, do a workout in your living room. It doesn't really matter. Just try to move your body whenever you can. Right? Okay. So many comments. I missed one. Okay. I have to watch the rest on replay. Thanks for the live. Heather, he keeps saying he's caring about people, but he really only cares about their vulnerabilities. Oh, you have such great points, Rich. Thank you. And thank you so much for watching. And I hope you enjoyed the replay and you have a great night. Thank you, Rich. Like the stream if you haven't yet. It really helps Heather's channel out. Thank you, DC. That is so nice. I really appreciate that. And yeah, if you like the stream, click like. That'd be cool. Thank you. Yes, this is typical of the MLM industry, using people's pain to get themselves rich. Great point. MLMs don't care if it's poverty or obesity. Excellent point. I love that point. Carl has done videos about how Beachbody is addressing the epidemic of obesity in the United States. And Beachbody, another example of an inflated ego of self-importance. Beachbody coaches, who the majority of them are not qualified or certified in health, fitness, or nutrition, they're the answer to the obesity epidemic in America. Not doctors, not nutritionists, not dietitians, not actual certified personal trainers or fitness instructors. That's a good point.
The noise that came along with the Beachbody name and without a new breakthrough program to train your teams about every month. We'll still have 2 programs a year. They're going to be breakthroughs. They're going to be great. But the vital behaviors will work incredibly well in this simplicity. Be the proof the product works. But with Health Esteem, your qualification to be that proof is merely how are you living up to the way you want to live, to what you want out of life, not some before and after photo that you achieved 2 years ago. And we wrote up that announcement of Health Esteem Month, and I emailed you about the 10 tiny moments. So you could use that outline so that being the proof could be about more than a sweaty selfie, which are still super valuable and inspirational. But instead, you can also celebrate the accumulation of these little decisions to do things that help you feel good and help you feel productive so that other people see, oh, that's part of productivity too. I am so excited to be this company for people, because as big as a problem as health and obesity is in the world, anxiety, depression, and negative self-esteem are just as bad. And that doesn't mean we bury our own beliefs either. Healthy choices create healthy people. And we get to live our way, our choices. Our job is to continue to educate.
Healthy choices make healthy people. While he was talking about depression and anxiety and mental health challenges, if you're experiencing a mental health challenge, potentially depending on your own individual experience, It may not matter if you exercise. It may not matter if you eat healthy. You may or may not need to go seek professional help from a therapist and potentially go on medication to help live and function and thrive with your mental health challenge, and that is fine. I think it's potentially really dangerous to insinuate, because he did not say this straight out, to insinuate that if you're having depression or anxiety, what you need is Beachbody's health esteem framework, and you just have to join our platform, and then all your issues, all your challenges are going to magically be fixed. I know that's not what he's saying, but I think that's what he's insinuating in a really roundabout way. What do you think about that? I really don't like that.
Where are the traps that can undermine our health? What are the habits that we can help point out? Like, what can we do to help people eat less junk and replace that junk with something that tastes just as good, that's incredibly healthy?
So nothing wrong with saying eat less junk, because I personally like to eat my food in moderation. I had to focus more on this as I got older. I allow myself to have like 1 or 2 little bowls of chips or chocolates every night, and I allow myself to have that amount, so then I don't feel like I'm missing out on some good snack food, and I don't overeat on that later, because as I mentioned before, I know my limits. I know how much of specific foods I'm able to eat and like still feel good after. And I'm also practicing just eating until I'm full, and then stopping. And then that's a good way for me to not overeat and feel poorly later. I just I don't like it. I've said this 1,000 times. I don't like the idea that Beachbody is the only way that we can be healthy and mindful of our fitness and our health. What do you think? Okay, I missed a lot of comments. I'm just gonna read a few of these. Have a look at Dexter Yeager. He was overweight, but wait, aren't Amway's weight loss products the best in the world? Yeah, but then didn't he also lose like 60 pounds after he had a heart attack too? But you're right. He started his Amway journey when he was quite overweight, and then it did get smaller. You're correct. They didn't have as much of a food selection like now. Once processed sugars came along, we started having more dental and waistline issues. That's true. You're right. RK says, I think the attitudes towards thinness has changed more. There's a lot of overweight women in paintings. Yeah, the ideal body isn't necessarily a stick figure like Autumn Calabrese. I think there's more of like an in-between, and there's more of an acknowledgement that women and men can look different. And I think there should be more of an understanding that a woman can be healthy even if she appears to be a little bit overweight, and there's not so much of a dichotomy. You're not either healthy or you're unhealthy. There can be a range in the middle, in my opinion. Dexter lost weight, then put it on several times. He was a yo-yo dieter. Yeah, that's pretty common. It's pretty sad. I like this conversation about like perceptions of like the ideal body, because you're right, it has changed.
Ultimately, we allow for people to step into those healthy choices which align to a lifestyle that suits them, that feels best, but we can help them with the tools that we've built into this platform. Like, what if someone isn't ready to start a body block, or they're not ready for a sure thing, or 4-week gut protocol, or 2B mindset, or portion fix? How can health esteem help them? And remember I said I was going to mention the thing I'm most excited about at the end. Okay, now I want you to look at this. I hinted about it. These are my cookies that I made. I made cookies. Okay, now this, can you believe that? I feel like an artist. I feel like I need my own cooking show. I call these, this is a no-bake cookies and creamy cookie, a la WEM. WEM is the acronym for World Health Esteem Month. I made this. Took me about 20 minutes, made a mess. I'll figure out how to do it better. The recipe's on the blog.
If that was a sincere reaction to him making his cookie, that was a nice moment. He just seemed really happy and excited that he made a cookie. And that's really nice, because I can't cook at all. So if I made cookies that actually tasted good, I would probably be as excited as Carl is. And I thought that was funny in like a nice, heartwarming way. That cookie does not look good, though. It does not look good. And he's going to explain how he made it. And it does not sound good either.
I think it's no-bake cookie balls. I think it's what it's called. But I added a little twist. It's actually I put like a heaping spoon of Greek yogurt to make them stickier, and then I flattened them so they look like cookies with some unsweetened coconut shavings. And I think that's what it's called, coconut shavings. That's too good. Now I'm not gonna be able to talk because it's gooey. And it looks like a cookie. I put them in the fridge overnight, and there you go. You got a recipe. Cookies and creamy a la Wem. How am I doing on time? That was a mistake to eat during the national call. I think this cookie is like, I don't know, it's probably 120 calories, 150 calories. I didn't make them as big as in the recipe. I made them a little smaller. Packed with superfoods, protein, fiber, all that good stuff. None of the bad stuff. And here's how recipes like this are going to save the world. Like,
there are no good and bad foods. There are just foods that have less nutritional value and foods that have more nutritional value. If you would just encourage us to eat in moderation and to say, try your best not to overeat on foods that have less nutritional value that may or may not make you feel sick. Try to train yourself to have 1 or 2 cookies a night. Try to train yourself to have a smaller bowl of chips, just so you're intaking less food that is not as good for you. If you said some advice like that, I might appreciate it more, because that's how I try to go about my eating and my day, just trying my best to have more foods that are more nutritionally dense and less foods that are less nutritionally dense, but I still have foods that he would consider to be bad every single day because I think it's normal. Okay, why can't we just have a regular cookie, right, Catherine? Like, why can't we just have a regular cookie? I'm not going to click on all the comments because my computer's freezing a lot. MLMs are not good for weight loss. The fact is that less people were overweight before MLMs were invented, not invited. Interesting. And then you do not need magical overweight weight loss shakes, overpriced weight loss shakes to lose weight. You simply need to exercise more and eat less fatty foods. Yeah, totally. Unless you have some kind of like underlying health condition like hypothyroidism that hasn't been diagnosed yet, or like you don't have the proper medication dosage, things like that, you might need actual help from a healthcare professional. But assuming you don't have anything like that, you can lose weight just reducing your calorie intake and moving more. Catherine, why? Because a normal cookie will not make the company rich. That's a good point. That's true.
Literally. Here's what we mean when we say eat more dessert. Now, remember I said those consultants I've been working with have analyzed the snack and dessert industry. Well, according to their research, the dessert industry is a $268 billion industry. But here's the insight that you care about, you and I. 1 in 5 of the people who eat dessert are actually looking for healthier options. You know how big that market is? That's over 50 billion.
Give us a source, sir. Give us a source. Where'd you get that stat from? And I hate when MLMs will say, we'll talk about the value of a specific industry and make it seem like the average distributor coming in will like have a piece of that pie, that whatever he said, $50 billion in revenue or whatever. The size of an industry will not impact your ease of finding financial success in Beachbody and selling the Shakeology as dessert idea, in my opinion.
Dollars of existing opportunity with no clear leader or go-to option that offers a delicious selection of dessert options that you can enjoy as much as ice cream or cookies or cakes. Or I still got my shake, still doing my shake, my creamy milkshake. This one's chocolate with all the boosts, but it's obviously doesn't have the calories, doesn't have the high sugar content, doesn't have the processed flours. But right here, we got it in a gourmet superfood called Shakeology. It's right behind me. We can serve a $50 billion market with cookies like these. So here's how this is going to be a breakthrough for your business, starting immediately. Let's say you're having a conversation with somebody at one of your kids' soccer games or a coffee shop. You had a little plate of your cookies that you brought along with you, and you're inviting somebody, you're talking to somebody about your health business. You're inviting them to join your group or to start Sure Thing or to do a body block, and they're just not ready or they're not interested. Well, now you can have another question. You can ask, look, I start new groups every month, so you can try it anytime. But let me ask you this: do you eat dessert? Whatever their answer is, you've got their attention. Who would I want to talk about dessert? If they do eat dessert, you can find out what their favorite desserts are and how often they eat them a week. And then you pull out a plastic bag or a airtight container and you offer them a cookie. They're delicious. And you can say, hey, I've got.
So you're trying to pretend that you're interested in someone's dessert habits, and then you are nice enough to offer them a cookie. And instead of just having a genuine, nice conversation, you're turning it into a recruitment pitch, unfortunately, because we know in Beachbody, in any MLM for that matter, you can't just have a normal, genuine relationship or not relationship or conversation. There is always an underlying motive to everything that they say, unfortunately, and it's really sad. RK says, yeah, I don't think so. I want my donut, not a carrot. True. Same here. Amway IBOs are not qualified to educate people on what to eat. Very true. And Beachbody coaches are not qualified to give health, fitness, or nutrition advice. Even Autumn Calabrese isn't qualified to do what she's doing as well. Hall says, these cookies look moldy. Yummy. That's funny. I like that. RK said, frozen computer. I have my carrots in my morning juice from the non-MLM juicer my husband bought that I drink with my collagen and creatine that I bought from Walmart. Fantastic point. We can find health-related products that are not connected to an MLM for much cheaper elsewhere, and it's going to be of a very similar or better quality. I love that point.
A way that you can actually eat more dessert and get healthier and lose weight with these delicious, easy and speedy superfood swaps.
So is he saying that we can lose weight while eating cookies? So as Hall said, these moldy ass cookies, like that's going to help us lose weight? That's not true. Lip Panic says, I've seen enough of these national wake-up calls to find this one really tedious. They usually have someone super energetic on here. Yeah. You're right. You're totally right. I really enjoy, though, like watching the people who are not actual distributors in these MLMs talk, because the coaches, the high-level, low-level coaches get what they say from Michael and from Carl, but you are totally right. It's kind of boring. Totally. Charlie says, it must be the cookies. That's funny. And hi, Charlie. I'm happy you're here.
Give them a cookie to try. They taste it kind of like an Oreo with the coconut on top or whatever you make. But they're actually really good for you. Protein, fiber, all these superfoods. You're going to blow people's minds, and they're going to try it right then. Right now, gang, we're creating a 20-day dessert challenge where you'll be able to help these people, the ones who aren't ready for the total solution. Help them improve their digestion, lose some weight, reduce their sugar cravings, all by eating more dessert, having treats ready to go. We're putting this together as fast as we can. But you can do this already. You've got the recipes. You got access to Shakeology, and you're smart enough to challenge people to see how good they can feel after a month or so of eating a different kind of dessert that's actually great for them. They can just find the recipe that works as much for them as possible. But if they're not ready to start with the whole thing, again, we're talking about 144 million adults out there who have not started anything. And maybe they can just start with a dessert challenge that helps them feel a little bit better, because they're not going to bed with all that sugar in their system and all that processed stuff that accumulates. Instead, you said, have one of these cookies, maybe have 1.5 of the cookies, and see how much better you sleep, see how much better you feel when you go to bed. And
so these magical cookies are also going to cure our insomnia as well. So these are pretty powerful. We are going to sleep better. We are going to magically fix our sugar cravings. We're going to magically lose weight, and we're going to magically feel better just by having 1 or 1.5 of these magical cookies like Carl just prescribed. Huh? What? Okay, I wanted to talk about, every single month I get a box full of snacks delivered to my door, and they're considered to be like more healthy snacks, right? So I just had like plantain chips. I've had like more organic snacks like chips and cookies and like pretzels and granola bars. And I like that stuff. And I like having snack food that tastes good, but is a little bit healthier than your natural, normal chips, right? Why can't you just tell us to eat a little bit healthier whenever we can and to just be a little bit more mindful and eat when we're hungry and stop eating when we're full? That's because if he were to tell us that, he wouldn't make any money. Ugh. I'm withholding judgment until I see the sugar count in those Shakeology cookies. I eat good protein bars that have 1 gram. Interesting. Why can't we just eat low sugar protein bars, sir? Right? The only thing that MLM weight loss products will make lighter is your wallet. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point. And very true.
Again, it can still be a shake. I mean, I love my shake and I enjoy my decadent shake every day. This right here is the mindset of health esteem, focusing on feeling good about what I can have that will make me feel good rather than what I can't have because I didn't watch what I ate during the holidays. Instead of punishing myself, I'm steering my life toward a life I love, including feeling good about myself at the same time. We're not forgetting about that for 8 weeks or 90 days or for the length of a program. We're focusing on feeling good about ourselves, on not rejecting ourselves the whole time. And if that doesn't get you some, that focus on how that can affect people's lives and their mental well-being at the same time that they were serving their physical well-being, even for what it can mean for you and for your kids to live in that mindset rather than in this constant state of chasing perfection or a state of permanent dissatisfaction. Well, I hope you take that in because I think it's really exciting. I can't imagine not being excited about it, at least at this company. That's the way this company is going to be. And this is the category that millions of people have been waiting for. If you're in this to build a business, there is no business opportunity that I can think of which is so meaningful, is so needed by so many people, which can also create such a
So in MLM, there's always the assumption that their company, their products are always the only answer and are the best opportunity out there. Every single MLM company cannot be the best MLM company ever. Like that's just impossible, but they all think that their products are the answer, which I find really interesting. I really don't like how Carl and Beachbody pushes the idea that health and fitness is like a one size fits all. That say if I am experiencing what he calls permanent dissatisfaction, all I need to do is just start with Beachbody and follow their nutrition programs, and then my self-esteem issues, my mental health challenges will just magically go away because of Beachbody. But like Catherine said farther up, if I have to follow 6,000 rules for my nutrition, I'm going to become obsessive, I'm going to fixate, and I'm going to drive myself crazy. I know I can't do that. I know I cannot leap around like in the Beachbody workout programs. I broke my foot like 10 months ago. I can't exercise the way I used to. I'm still recovering. I can't do the majority of the high impact moves in Beachbody programs, and that's okay, in my opinion. Charlie says joining an MLM is punishment, right? I totally agree. DC says Shakeology tastes awful. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, DC has a funny stream where she tried different Shakeology flavors, and yeah, it looked really gross. Really, Carl, do you like Shakeology? I wonder if he actually likes it, right? Decadent is a stretchity stretch of a statement, Carl. Right? Decadent. What the heck? He seems angry. Is that just me? Maybe he is angry, right? Who knows? Did you sample them on a video once? And then DC said, yes, unfortunately, I also made their Muddy Buddy recipe with the Shakeology packet, and it was just awful. That was a good one. That was really funny. I liked that video. Hall said, I love those taste videos, DC. I've watched them several times. Same, Hall, same. And I like, DC, I like your facial expressions when you're trying it. It's really funny. This is a really long stream for me, and we still have a while left, so I'm going to try my best not to talk too much.
Found income opportunity, whether it's starting groups each month to go all in on the total solution and bust ass and work hard and sweat hard and get ripped and feel great, seeing what you can achieve and how great you can feel and buff and ripped and all of that, even after one 3-week body block, how good you can feel. Or even helping people who would just love to break their sugar addiction, who would love to not rely on sugar for all their gratification, who would love to just be able to enjoy dessert without shame or guilt or the physical consequence of it. We can do it that way. We can truly enhance people's lives. And I know you've got other choices for what your side business could be. Face creams, cleaning products, even other shakes. But I don't know of one other business that can help change the health and the health esteem of the world like this one. And as we dial this in, all the simplicity.
Beachbody can change the health of the world. People who are not qualified in health and fitness, Carl, an MLM CEO, he can change the health of the world. Though I've said this 1,000 times, if that was really his mission, his goal, he would start a nonprofit and he would have free or low-cost exercise programs, cooking programs, nutrition programs for low-income families or for those who are experiencing homelessness. He would not be in in a very predatory and unethical business structure. I hate this. DC says, thank you to Hall for the nice compliment for her funny taste test videos. And then RK says, oh, the sugar irony. Shakeology no doubt has tons. Oh, yeah, I bet it does have a lot. I bet. We have like 7 minutes left.
It'll make it easier for more people to get involved. More people are going to start making money. Real money. And that's going to spin the flywheel faster. That'll attract more people.
Your streams can never be too long. I enjoy watching every minute of them. Please make them longer. That's a really nice thing to say. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that. I feel like I babble too much because I have a lot to say and I don't really write things down. But I'm glad that you like them. Thank you.
And that's when 2023 takes off. And it starts right now. As Keyshawn said, Sure Thing is already showing that people love this program and they're ready to start today. People are buying the bike like crazy the last 2 weeks. So you start this now. People can start this now. They can start Sure Thing next Monday or week after that. We got 2 months to really focus on Sure Thing or all the rest of the programs in the catalog or do the body blocks that we're listing or plug into the content on Body. It's all great. And we'll celebrate health esteem all month and help people do these little tiny things that can start them down a path of living more healthy, fulfilling lives. This is the business that we're in. What an incredible gift. We can help people replace their dessert with a delicious, easy, fast superfood swap that you can enjoy every day and actually get healthy and lose weight at the same time.
Beachbody coaches and MLM distributors are taught to think of their business as a gift. And so when they're inviting to the opportunity, they are just simply passing on the gift to other people whose lives would be changed from it as well. So he's telling us, of course, that this business is a gift, and he's insinuating that it's our duty to pass on the gift, which I hate. I hate that. DC says, I love your streams, Heather. It's always fun when they're longer. Thank you, DC. I really appreciate that. And I love your streams too. Hall says, Shakeology has 7 grams of sugar plus 5 added sugars. Thanks, Google. I'm not a nutrition person, but I feel like that's a lot for a shake made by this guy when he's telling us about how horrible sugar is and how Shakeology can help us break our sugar addiction. That seems like it's more than I would assume. What do you guys think?
I want to see you succeed this year. We'll be celebrating these stories, the stories from 2022, of course. We'll celebrate the Beachbody Challenge stories at Summit this year, But I'm excited to reconfigure how we celebrate success on Body stories. So we're sort of switching that from the Beachbody Challenge to everyday stories, all along the continuum of what success looks like, from one day to one change to the full gamut of transformation that always blows our mind. And you can tag at Body Stories, BODI stories on Instagram. That's how we'll find you. And they'll be giving out t-shirts every day. And I want to celebrate both the big wins and the smaller day-to-day wins. That's what we'll be doing all month for World Health Esteem Month. And that's what we're doing all year on Hat Body Stories. Look at those 10 tiny moments and share your story. All you have to do is like post something like, what's an old New Year's resolution that you might have made and later broke? And why did you break it, right? Because it was important to you at New Year's. So now replace that. What are the declarations of the things that you want for yourself? How you're going to take care of yourself, not just for the year, but for your life. That's a health esteem declaration. And what's a personal story of how you're going to do that? What will your life be like? How will it be improved? Then, like the Ice Bucket Challenge, you tag a couple of people, they ask them to post their health esteem declarations, and maybe we get this thing going. Or worst case, you'll have people asking you, what's a health esteem declaration? And as we see these posts from you, I want to celebrate the whole spectrum of health esteem, not just the outcome, not just the weight loss, but yes, the weight loss too. And that's going to help more people start conversations, going to help you start more conversations that will help more people. This is our time.
So this whole body thing, this whole body story thing, of course, it's a way to recruit more people and say, what's a self-esteem declaration? And then you tell them all about clean energy. You tell them all about Shakeology as dessert, right? And then, of course, they're going to want to join you. I do appreciate that the extremely toxic Beachbody Challenge that's focused on people losing the greatest amount of weight is being reconfigured, because I've said in the past that someone might just lose 5 or 10 pounds, but their mental well-being could be vastly improved. They could be running around with their children, and they could have joined like a rec soccer team, and their life can be completely different from losing the 5 or 10 pounds and doing the Beachbody programs. And that's also something that should be celebrated. I don't fully understand what this body story thing will look like yet, but I do like that the challenge is being changed up because it's extremely toxic. These people know nothing about nutrition. I totally agree with you, Live Panic. Computers freezing, yay. Oh, they're not going to like the tags from the Snark crew. I'll just say that right now. Ooh, I wonder what they're going to be. Hall says they can spell nutrition good enough, right? Totally. 4 more minutes.
Are in a position to take advantage of all these exciting changes, all the research and development that we've done. And you're going to reconnect with how it feels to help so many people. I'm so grateful for you, for being here. Thank you for believing in us, for seeing the power of this new category of health esteem. Don't just see it superficially, see it deeper. That people need this. Over 100 million people can use this. And the addition of Mindset to the platform, which went up, I think, on Friday, check that out. We'll start populating it more aggressively in March and April, but it's there now. You can see what Petra's got in store. This is a significant turning point in the entire health and fitness industry. And I'm so proud to have you with me. Thank you for your focus on the mission, but most of all, thank you for never quitting on that mission or yourself. I can't wait to see how you work with this. And I can't wait to see a bunch of Super Weekend. I'm going to be in Canada, I think Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, I think, and then in Philly. But whichever Super Weekend you go to this coming weekend.
Carl, stay out of Canada, please. I know a lot of the top coaches are in Canada, but just stay away, please. I don't like how he said that. I love that you didn't quit on the mission, that you didn't quit on yourself. If you leave Beachbody, you're not saying that you don't care about health and fitness, you don't care about reducing the epidemic of obesity, and you're also not saying that you're quitting on yourself. You're just recognizing that you're in a harmful, potentially manipulative situation, and you're removing yourself from that situation so you'll experience less harm. That's actually a positive thing, to make a decision and stick to it, you know? Mark said it's a scam. Totally, Mark. I completely agree. What's sad is how genuine Carl seems. Has he seen the income disclosure statement? Yeah. Good point. Good point. I'm sure he has, and I'm sure he's just like what our Amway friends have told us. People don't make money because they don't work it. They don't make the sacrifices needed. They don't do what they're told, and that's why they don't make money. So perhaps Carl is following Rich and whatever his name is, Jay, right? Come on, Carl. You can do it. Sound energetic. Eat a cookie, Carl. You'll feel better. You can stalk him, Heather. Oh, yeah, maybe. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'll let him enjoy Canada, enjoy Ontario and Quebec. And if he's going there soon, like it's going to be cold, it's going to be miserable. It'd be better if he could go there in like April or May and he could actually like enjoy the scenery. Oh my God, where's my mouse? There it is.
And I hope you bring the energy, bring your enthusiasm, bring your determination to make a huge difference in the world. How good is your life going to feel if your focus is on making a difference in the world for people? Maybe even bring some superfood cookies to Super Weekend too. All right. Thank you, Beachbody. Thank you, Team Beachbody. And now, thank you going forward. Thank you, Body. Let's make big things happen, everybody. And with all this going on, I'm just so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you. So, Keyshawn, take us out, and let's all get to work.
Carl, thank you, y'all. Whew, I have been trying to rein in my emotions after listening to this wake-up call today, and I'm celebrating my 11th year next month with Beachbody, with Body, and I've witnessed firsthand how we have changed lives, and to know that there are 100 million people who are waiting for us, this is going to position us to help even more people. But this is the thing, it's not enough to feel good on this call and to hear Carl and say, yeah, I'm gonna take those cookies with me. It's not enough for you to feel good and say, oh, that World Health Esteem Month, that's a really good idea. It's not enough for you to feel good and say, I'm so happy I partnered with Body. It is not enough for us to just feel good. We have to believe, and then we have to take action, and it starts right now, and the action starts within us, and then we have to invite people to do this with us. 100 million people are waiting for us. Invite them to Super Weekend. It's happening. Invite them to become a coach and join the Sure Thing coach group with you. Invite them to take action in doing and thinking with World Health Esteem Month. That means no more self-hate. That means that we are going to find 100 wins every single month, like what Michael challenged us to do. And it starts right here because you showed up today. And then it's going to start again this weekend because you're showing up for your day, for yourself every single day, and you're showing up for Super Weekend, and you're inviting people. We are going to celebrate together 100 wins every single month. Welcome to your new beginning, and happy World Health Esteem Month. Bye, everyone.
That was a lot. That was an interesting way to end the video. My whole face is going to be on the screen, so I'm going to freeze. I'm not sure if I could think of a context where that level of emotion related to your job would be appropriate. I think maybe if you're a nurse or a doctor and you thought you were going to lose a patient and somehow you figured it out and you saved their life and you're like telling your mom or your spouse about it, I could see this level of emotion in that sense because you literally just saved someone's life and you thought that you wouldn't be able to. But when you put it in the context of MLM, of Beachbody, we are recruiting people to be in a downline and we are trying to sell them overpriced health shakes and workout programs that they could access on YouTube. Not the exact same ones, of course. I just can't imagine that level of emotion in an MLM context. Charlie said Kool-Aid and cookies. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't even really know what to say to that. I don't know. She seems very smart. She's very intelligent. She's very well spoken. And I'm not sure how she got to this place where she was displaying that level of emotion. I don't really know what else to say. Hall says, don't worry, the anti-MLM community is doing something. Yeah. RK says, wow, right? Right? Wow, I totally agree. And then Mark, she's crazy. I don't know what else to say about that. I was just really, really surprised at the level of emotion. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for everyone who stuck around for the whole stream. I really, really appreciate it. I thank you, Mark and RK and Hall and Charlie and Rich and Left Panic. And of course, DC. Go subscribe to DC right away. I'm going to go live again on Friday at 4:45 my time and then again next weekend. So if you're able to join me live on Friday, that would be really, really fun. Thank you to anyone who is going to watch the replay as well. I really appreciate that. Live Panic says, thanks, Heather. Great job. Thank you, Live Panic. I really appreciate that. I hope everyone has a good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.